Famous American actor Sylvester Stallone didn't have anything come easy in his life. His struggle for success began in his early childhood when he firmly decided to become an actor. His roles are a convincing example of the strength of character that can conquer any peak. From his earliest childhood, Sylvester Stallone knew exactly who he wanted to become in the future. He saw himself only as an actor, and other professions did not seem attractive to him. It wasn't just a dream to break into the limelight for Stallone. He wanted to be useful to people and inspire them. Perhaps that's why many of his films are so inspiring, even in the toughest situations. It shows that any person can overcome whatever difficulties they face. At the moment of tiny Sylvester Stallone's birth, medical forceps were used to pull him out of his mother's womb. That's why his appearance turned out to be so peculiar and unique.
Furthermore, the birth injury also affected Stallone's speech. He speaks poorly and unclearly. However, all of this did not stop Stallone from becoming more and more convinced every day that he wants to be only an actor and should only do this. But whoever he asked to take him to the movies, the answer was always the same. It's a stupid idea and it's better to leave it forever because with such looks, a career as an actor in Stallone is impossible. One rejection followed another, and now Stallone remembers being kicked out of film agencies in New York 1,500 times. And when someone objects that there aren't that many agencies in the city, he responds that he was simply denied by each one 6 or more times. But eventually he managed to break through. Stallone came to the agency early in the morning and waited for the chief administrator. He came and saw a familiar guy, and when he left, Stallone waited for him until morning. Thus, his persistence and perseverance helped the future actor get his first job. It was a film that never became famous, and Stallone's role in it was too small. He appeared in it for only 20 minutes, and in the plot, he was beaten up. After this role, rejection followed rejection, and there were no new roles on Stallone's creative horizon. When a young man with dreams of becoming an actor realized that his approach wasn't working, he made the decision to completely change his approach to finding work. For some time, Stallone was so poor that he would go hungry and couldn't even afford to pay for heating in his apartment. The future actor's wife would constantly argue with him, pleading with him to find a stable job that would bring in a steady income.
Many people asked the young man what was stopping him, like thousands of other Americans, from finding a regular job and living comfortably. But Sylvester Stallone's answer was extremely simple. He was convinced that if he found a job, he would forever lose interest in his dream, and it would never come true. Stallone was convinced that burning all bridges, despite his wife's and friends' disapproval, was the only right way to go. However, his wife did not understand these strange, in her opinion, attitudes of her husband, and was sure that freezing in their own home without a penny was not normal. One day Stallone went to the public library and sat there only because it was warm inside. He happened to come across a book that someone had forgotten. Sylvester became interested in the book, which had the history of Edgar Allan Poe written on the cover. Maybe I should become a writer, thought Stallone, but even that didn't work out for him. The young man was completely broke, with not even $50 to his name. When Stallone had all but given up hope of achieving any kind of success, he managed to sell a script called Paradise Alley for a mere $100. Many years later, Stallone, now famous, starred in that very film. A very interesting memory in the mind of today's popular actor, Sylvester Stallone, is associated with those difficult times. His relationship with his wife was completely destroyed because the family had no money. His wife did not hide her hatred for him, and then Stallone realized that he loved his dog the most, who was loyal to him and capable of loving his master unconditionally. When there was no money left to live on, and Stallone couldn't even feed his dog, he went to a pet store and decided to sell her. Having only received $25, Stallone left the store in tears, as it was a deal that went against his conscience, resulting in him selling out his friend. Returning home, the future actor was feeling down and caught a fight on television between Chuck Wepner and Muhammad Ali. When the fight ended, Stallone sat down at a table and wrote for 20 straight hours. The result of his work was a complete script. The author was confident that this particular script would be in demand. However, many directors who saw the script said that it was not one of the best, somewhat foolish, and quite predictable. By the way, Stallone wrote all of these words down and once read them from the stage when he received a prestigious film award, the Oscar statuette. The story of Rocky, which Stallone wrote at the time, became an incredible comeback after years of striving for huge success on a very difficult path. But before achieving such a desired and long-awaited success, Stallone heard hundreds of rejections once again. However, they could no longer stop the screenwriter, as too many no's had hardened his character. In order to make the film about Rocky, Stallone and his team spent $1 million, but ended up earning 2.5 times more as a result. It can be confidently said that Sylvester Stallone's main quality is his unbreakable will to win. In order to achieve his desired goals, the actor and director is willing to literally bite the ground. He is not accustomed to stopping at obstacles. For example, in order to star in the film Copland, Stallone had to gain 30 kilograms, and many had already written off his future career. But he managed to lose weight and get back to normal. Stallone has been repeatedly tried to be removed from the show business world, citing his financial bankruptcy. Despite having more failures than successes in his professional and personal life, he finds the strength to get up and move forward after each setback, overcoming new and greater obstacles.